Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we aren't looking at the things that we got, we're complaining about the things that we lost. Whether it was cut from particular releases or cut entirely, these are 10 things cut from Pokemon games. Gotta cut them all. Before we continue, we publish content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified of our latest videos. The Dexit controversy, Pokemon Sword and Shield. The Dexit controversy hit when Pokemon Sword and Shield announced not all Pokemon would make the jump to the new games, essentially cutting the Pokedex in half. Fans were outraged, dubbing it Dexit, like Brexit, but with more crying Pikachus. GameFreak claimed it was to focus on quality, though many trainers saw it as less gotta catch 'em all and more gotta settle for some. Twitter melted down, memes flew faster than Quick Attack, and fans demanded justice for their missing Bidoofs. I know it's technically pronounced Bidoof, but I can't stop saying Bidoof. In the end, everyone learned two things: never mess with nostalgia, and GameFreak really needs a PR Pokemon. The DeletedHM Pokemon Red and Blue. HMs used to be the backbone of Pokemon games before Sun and Moon tossed them into a PC box and never looked back. These special moves let you cut trees, surf oceans, force your poor Lapras into eternal manual labor, just fun stuff. Red and Blue had 5 HMs total, from Flash, aka light up the cave you got lost in for the 10th time, to Surf, aka Surf. But rumor has it there was a secret 6th HM that never made the cut. All that remains is some leftover text reading "ground rose up somewhere." Sounds mysterious, or like someone really messed up using Dig. Mobile System GB Pokemon Crystal version. Here's a classic case of Japan gets the cool stuff first. Back in Pokemon Gen 2, Western players missed out on a bunch of bonus features thanks to something called the Mobile System GB, an online service exclusive to Japan. It lets players trade, battle, and even check online leaderboards, basically Pokemon Home before Wi-Fi existed. Unfortunately, the West never got it because it required having a mobile phone, something most 90s kids didn't have unless they were secretly business executives. Sure, it didn't drastically change the gameplay, but come on, gimme!
お求めはご覧のお店でシャインボール当たります。
Beta Pokemon, Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. Hey, not everyone can make the team. Let's check out the ones that barely made it through design bootcamp. Some early Gen 3 beta designs are wild, downright bad. Take Torchic, for example. One concept had it poking out of a giant egg like it couldn't commit to hatching, while another gave it ears big enough to turn a car like a sailboat. Groudon's early draft looks like he skipped too many Pokeblocks, and there's even a bizarre fusion of Latias and Blaziken that screams, "Kill me." Faraway Island, Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. We're not moving off Ruby and Sapphire just yet. I'm not sure what it is about these games, but we know way too much about the dev process. There are 4 secret islands tucked away in the Gen 3 Pokemon games, but only one became the stuff of Western legend, Faraway Island. Why? Because it literally lived up to its name. It was too far away for anyone outside Japan to reach. The special event ticket needed to visit it never made it overseas, leaving Western players staring at their Game Boys in despair. On this elusive island lurked a level 30 Mew, just waiting to be caught. Or not, unless you were handy with cheats and glitches. So yeah, technically we could catch Mew, just not legally. Multiplayer Madness, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. One of Gen 4's coolest new features was its 8-player online multiplayer, a huge deal at the time. But believe it or not, it was originally supposed to support double that. That's right, Pokemon was briefly flirting with a 16-player Chaos mode before the Nintendo DS politely said, "Are you on acid?" The poor handheld just didn't have the memory for that kind of madness. Junichi Masuda even teased the 16-player connectivity back in a 2005 interview, though he conveniently left out the part where the DS would start smoking if they actually tried it. Different starters, Pokemon Gold and Silver. Alright, we're jumping to Gen 2. The starters from this era are beloved icons, right up there with the OG trio, but fun fact, 2 of them almost got Thanos snapped out of existence before release. Chikorita was always the chosen leafy one, but Cyndaquil and Totodile weren't the original picks. Early designs show a fire-type bear named Hunaguma, basically Winnie the Pooh on fire, and a water type called Karusu, which looked suspiciously like Lapra's smaller, bluer cousin. Maybe that's why I got the boot. Thankfully, we ended up with an adorable trio that were genuinely hard to choose between. EReader, CutContent, Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. The Nintendo EReader, that weird little gadget from the early 2000s that made you feel like you were swiping groceries instead of playing Pokemon. By scanning special cards, you could unlock NES classics, minigames, or even Pokemon Battles and Berries. It was like DLC, but made out of cardboard. Sadly, while Japan got the full buffet, Western fans were left nibbling on the scraps once again. Only the first 54 cards made it over. Some regions didn't even get the EReader at all, leaving fans staring at their Game Boys, imagining the minigames. Battling Professor Oak, Pokemon Red and Blue. So, remember back to your childhood when you first jumped into Pokemon with a happy heart, optimism, you've beaten the Elite Four in Pokemon Red and Blue and you're feeling pretty good about yourself, right? Then your smug rival Blue shows up even though he was hired like yesterday. This final battle was as epic as a Game Boy battle could be. Originally though, your last showdown was meant to be with none other than Professor Oak himself. That's right, Grandpa Oak was ready to throw down after years of pretending he didn't know how battles worked. Thanks to glitches and hacks, you can still face him, but be warned, doing so might break your game faster than throwing it in the microwave. From 200 to 150, Pokemon Red and Blue. By now, Gen 1 is practically Pokemon Pop Culture 101. Most fans could probably rattle off the original 150 in their sleep. But back in the chaotic days of Red and Blue development, over 200 Pokemon were actually planned. Unfortunately, the Game Boy's tiny cartridge space had other ideas. So many creatures got cut, it was borderline brutal. Some of these abandoned designs eventually found new life in later generations, while others disappeared into the void forever, probably sulking in a Poké Ball somewhere, muttering, "I could have been your starter." Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from MojoPlays and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of our latest videos.